What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game Season 3, Episode 3. This is the average man's perspective on football. I'm your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Brian, say what up, Brian.
Thanks for joining us.
And Mark, say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Help us get those views up. Also want to encourage you to check us out on Facebook, on our Facebook group, The Live Game. You can also catch us at Twitter at The Live Game 3. And you can also catch us on Instagram at official The Live Game.
Which is normally scrolling at the bottom, but apparently it's not tonight.
I got other stuff up there. Don't worry about what the producer is doing. You just focus on what you do. Okay?
It's fine.
Okay. So I believe who's hosting tonight? Mark, you hosting tonight?
I am your host tonight, you all.
You would think the producer would know that.
What kind of producer we got? Oh, yeah. I'm a producer. Hey, who's tonight?
I guessed the right person, didn't I? Did I not guess the right
person?
Okay, then. So we all good. We all good. So go ahead. Did I forget anything? I got anything I forgot?
Nope.
I got some complaints to make about the intro?
Not on the show. We'll do it afterwards.
All right, Mark. Go ahead and get it started.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're gonna go over the overview of the topics for today's show. We've got the hot topics we're gonna deal with first. Then we're gonna review our last week's pick, see who did good, see who did bad. Then we're gonna predict the week 3 primetime games, the best games we think the best matchups will be, and then our final thoughts. All right, fellas, we ready to get into it?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, this week was disastrous for injuries. You got the top 3 draft, fantasy draft choice running backs. Each one of them went down.
Well, no, that's not true. Not the top 3.
Top 2. Who's the top
2? The third one is still playing.
Most of it was probably top 5, but he's not.
Yeah, definitely top 5.
Yeah,
I picked him as the first running back.
we had some top fantasy running backs that went down that left people trying to find some replacements for these players. That's for sure. The one big known one was Saquon Barkley. He went down. He's gone. He lost him for the year. McCaffrey is out, and McCaffrey has a chance of coming back this year. Slim chance. We also lost. 49ers took the brunt of all these injuries with Nick Bosa, Samuel Thomas, and there was another one. Garoppolo went down too. That's right. Yeah. A couple of unknown names out there is Anthony Barr, linebacker from Minnesota. Cortland Sutton, the second-year wide receiver for the Denver Broncos.
Who had just came back for his first game from injury.
Yes. Also lost Drew Luck for Denver Broncos. Lost him too. Malik Hooker, the safety for the Colts.
You said Drew Lock, right? Not Luck.
Drew Lock.
Okay.
Lock.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounded like you said Luck. I was like, are we putting 2 quarterbacks together?
I said Lock.
Okay. I apologize. Please continue.
I heard Luck too.
I heard Luck. I heard Lock, Mark. I heard Luck.
Okay. Also, Raheem Mostert went down too. He had 2 brilliant break-off runs in the beginning of the game. One was for an 80-yarder. Then I think the other one was like a 72-yarder, 73-yarder. They got called back. But he broke off 2 of them early in the game. But he went down he's gone for the season.
That's the one that hurt.
I believe that 80-yarder was the first play of the game.
Yeah. Well, that's the one that hurt me the most.
That's the first one, right? But he had another one in that same game too.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying that was the first play of the game.
Yes,
yeah, it was.
Yes, that is correct. Also, Brandon Sheriff is gone. Now, like the Washington team has offensive line problems as it is, but they lost their best offensive lineman. A couple of other people who stand a chance of coming back. Devontae Adams have a hamstring injury, but he may be available for the game. But I don't know how much effective he will be with that. Guys, let's get into it. What we got?
Well, I mean, like you said, it was. Come on,
my bad.
totally unprofessional.
Technical difficulty.
Really. Saquon going down was a big thing, but man, he was taking punishment. I don't know if he was going to make it through the season anyway. In all honesty, like he's really all the Giants had offensively. And Daniel Jones, he's doing okay, but I mean, they had already. You could tell they were going to run Saquon into the ground. Sad to see him go because sometimes these players don't come back from these types of injuries the same. But hopefully, he will. Mostert, him going down hurt me because I had him in fantasy, and he broke off that 82-yard, and I was like, oh, he about to have a big game, and then I didn't see his stats change. I was just like, what's going on? So, but the thing, something for the 49ers to lose that many players, and they complained about the field up there in New York.
Yeah. And they're going back to play again this weekend.
They do. They got to go back and play again. There has to be something to that, and I hope that the NFL looks into that because
they complain about it being sticky, and you can see, especially on the Bosa injury, he planted his foot and he just tried to twist, and his body went one way, but his legs stayed planted in the turf. So that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's real.
Marcus, what you think?
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the 49ers, they took the brunt of it. And like Herman said, that Raheem Mostert, that really hurt me. He was my first running back pick in fantasy. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And had he stayed in the game, I would have won my doggone fantasy football game.
Maybe so, maybe not.
No, I would have won. I don't think so. Especially if that 70-yarder would have counted.
No, because then Dak would have just played harder for me. So you wouldn't have won regardless.
I would have won. But, I said before, I'm not a huge fan of preseason, but this is what happens when there's no preseason. All these injuries would have already happened before. I believe was before now.
I don't know.
Yeah, because the starters wouldn't have been playing that much in preseason anyway.
Right, and not the 49ers thing.
Yeah,
thing. That's too freakish for all those players to go down with some MCL or ACL knee stuff. Hamstrings, some of that stuff, and I get, not a lot of pre, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but the players not being in the shape that they should be in. But these all of those MCLs and ACLs, that's freakish.
So you think the field complaint is legit?
I think the field complaint is legit. It has to.
The only thing that the Giants have is that they did play the Steelers on that field the week before. And prior to the season, the NFL did come out and check out that field and did give it approval.
Exactly.
Yeah, but something happened.
I think this is just what happens during a season, like I said, a season where they couldn't work out like they normally would.
Why aren't you seeing this in more stadiums? They lost what? How many players in that one stadium?
Shoot, they lost. We didn't even talk about Garoppolo. Did we even mention that Garoppolo got hurt?
We mentioned Garoppolo.
He got a high ankle sprain. Okay.
Mm-hmm. High ankle sprain don't have to do with
no, not with the turf.
No, it does do with
turf. Well, no, he got the high ankle sprain because of the way the guy was tackling him, I believe.
No.
I don't know. Like you said, it's just freakish how it happened this week. But like I said, to me, I personally believe had that been in preseason, probably wouldn't have happened. But
what you think would have been different about the field that in preseason?
I don't contribute to the field. I just contributed to players really not being in football shape.
So you're trying to apply knee injuries or a function of conditioning? I
just think it's just odd that we had so many and there was no preseason. I don't
know. I agree too with Herman. If it was more like hamstrings or soft tissue issues, then that's one thing. That's conditioning. That's nothing. But you can't stop getting somebody dragging you or somebody rolling up on the back of your leg. Those type of things, where it knocks your knee out. I don't agree with that on the field. The field more than likely caused these problems, not necessarily conditioning.
Well, we'll see what happens next week. And like you said last week, the Steelers and the Giants played on that field, and didn't have that, so
they didn't.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. The next hot topic we're going to talk about is the San Diego Chargers had Tyrod Taylor juiced up he had a cracked rib, So they want to give him a painkiller to help numb the ribs. Well, something went terribly wrong. The doctor ended up puncturing his lung. So therefore, the young rookie, Justin Hubbard, had gotten the call to play quarterback.
Like what, 5 minutes before the game started?
Yeah, like the coach went up to him and said, "Hey, you're starting." And he thought the coach wasn't serious at first. He's like, "What? Yeah. I'm really playing." And it was like crazy because like nobody knew. The fans. I mean, none of the players knew.
Complete
the people up in the booth had no idea. It was just like you're just going to get started. So, but he actually played well. He played very well.
He played real well. I wasn't expecting him to go with that. And then again, Kansas City was they were a little bit off too.
Yeah.
But he did a wonderful job for starting out. Go ahead, Herman. What you had to say about it?
Well, I mean, the story is having your lung punctured, while getting an injection. Like, what? When I finally, because it was funny because I was watching the game and when Herbert came out, I was like, what happened to Tyrod? I was like, man, they doing him dirty. He gets dirty
again.
Like, I can't believe this, But and then eventually, it just came out.
Yesterday.
Was it today?
I think it was today.
Yeah,
it was today.
So you didn't know. They said that something was wrong. He had to go to the hospital or whatever. He had a rib injury. That's how they said it. You notice how they covered it up.
That's what they told the people up in the booth, that he had a rib injury.
Yeah.
When he actually had pain in his chest.
Yeah, they said
his lung was punctured.
Probably couldn't breathe all that well.
Yeah, you can see him. They had a shot of him like on the sideline. He's trying to explain it to one of the guys. I guess one of the coaches or something. Yeah. You can see he was in a lot of pain.
It's that's something else, man.
And that's worse. His rib was already cracked, and now you're the damaged that lung. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but it seemed mighty convenient.
No.
I'm just saying.
The head coach was really. I think he had he wanted to get Tyrod his chance. He could have just started. He could have just started the rookie. It was no reason.
The head coach might not have been in on the conspiracy.
Exactly. Exactly. Justin Herbert. He got that first check. He slid.
After they saw Joe Burrow do so well, shit.
Ownership plays a role too.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn can scream as much as he wants about wanting to start Tyrod, but if once ownership decides they want that rookie in there.
Wouldn't that be something?
I guess, but I would think that they would just have Coach Lynn come in the office and say, "Hey, the rookie's starting,"
and he can scream all he wants about how he wants Tyrod to start, but look at how Justin Herbert played.
He was still going to start Tyrod. If we didn't find out that his lung was punctured and he was going to be able to play, he was going to start Tyrod this week.
Well, he says he's still going to start him when he is out. Okay. That's what
we'll see.
That's what he's claiming. He's saying,
but it's going to be tough if he plays as well as he did the rest of the season. I'm not saying he's going to win a bunch of games, but if he keeps them competitive and does like he did, I mean, he threw some dimes.
He did. He played good.
Backwards.
And he was poised back then. He was very poised and relaxed.
But just know that ownership will be the one to override Anthony Lynn. It's not going to be his decision. He's not going to make that decision. Ownership's going to force him to do it.
That very well may be the case. Moving on to some other hot topic news here. We got quite a few teams that are 2-0 in the division. Do we actually believe in these teams? Do we have faith that they're gonna continue on this uphill climb? The Bills, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Titans, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Packers, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Rams and Seattle Seahawks. Out of these teams, who you think is going to continue on with the up climb? Who you think, Brian?
Are we doing who we believe in, or
who do you have the least faith in? Who do you have the least faith in?
Yeah, the one in that group that I don't believe is going to continue with that upward climb are the Titans and the Raiders.
Those are the only two.
Those are the only two I see. And the Bears. I'm sorry, the Bears. Oh my God, the Bears definitely. My apologies. The other teams, I see majority of those teams as playoff teams, and I think they're all going to do very well. The Cardinals are very surprising, playing very well. You could see a difference in the quarterback from last year to this year. I mean, just like taking over games. We know what the Bills are doing. I mean, shoot, their quarterback is leading the league in offense right now in passing yards.
Didn't he throw for 400 yards or something?
Yeah,
417 yards last year.
The Ravens are the Ravens are. They haven't changed since last year. The Steelers with Big Ben have been very competitive. I haven't seen them, really nervous or anybody put them in a competition. Chiefs were a little ugly last week, but I mean they're the Chiefs. You can't really knock them out. So Seahawks, they're gonna catch a loss this week, but after that they'll probably progress.
Listen here. I agree. I think the Bears are the one that I don't see. I'm surprised to see them with 2-0 right now. I don't think they're going to keep that up climb with that team. Marcus, who do you think?
I pretty much agree with Brian. The Raiders, they're shocked to me. They looked really good Monday night.
That tight end looked awesome.
Oh yeah, wasn't it
Darren Waller?
Yeah, Waller. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. But we've been here before with the Titans. A couple years. I mean, Titans. The Raiders. A couple years ago when Amari Cooper was still there. And what's his name? Devin Carr had that really good season. But I will admit they looked very good on Monday. I'm surprised they're 2-0. I didn't expect them to win. I wouldn't have picked them to win either one of those games. We'll see. I need consistency on a regular basis before I can have total faith in you. The Bears, I don't know. The division to me still belongs to the Packers. If they can, at least be competitive with the Packers, then maybe they got a chance. But and was it Trubisky? The few plays I've seen him do this year, he looks kind of okay. But I don't know. I don't really know too much.
The first game he looked terrible until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, that's when it counts, really.
True.
So and the Titans, I'm not worried about the Titans. I'm not worried about the Titans. They're not looking that great, but I'm not really worried about them. I think they have a good coach there, and Tannehill is, Derrick Henry not looking up to par, but Tannehill, he's looking pretty good. So I would say the ones I have the least faith in are the Raiders and the Bears.
Herman.
All right. So of course I don't have any faith in the Bears. I don't have any faith in the Raiders either. And I don't have any faith in the Bills or the Cardinals.
What? You ought to be seeing yourself.
I'm not.
You don't like the Bills are the real deal?
Nope, I'm not buying it.
They win the playoffs last year.
I know, and I didn't buy it then. I'm still not buying it.
I mean, what you got to do for you to buy it? You got to win Super Bowl, I guess.
I want to see them at least win the division, but
okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. The Cardinals, I mean, they beat the Washington team, and then they beat the 49ers, but the 49ers don't look like they're what we thought they were going to be anyway at this point. So, and I mean, the Washington team, that was nothing. So,
you want to say that last year when the Cowboys got off the hard start against some turbo-ass teams.
What?
We
beat all the terrible teams. We lost to the playoff teams.
Right.
I'm saying, but you was beating them terrible teams in the beginning.
Yeah. And then the Bears, please. Trubisky, no. I've watched enough of him. I've seen enough of him this year already to know he's still the same old dude. He's just getting away with it right now. He's getting away with it a little bit. It'll all come right back to him. So yeah, I'm not buying those teams. Everybody else, I believe in everybody else. Titans, I picked them to win the division. Of course, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Steelers, I believe in them right now because Ben is healthy.
And that defense is on point.
Their defense is definitely on point. But if that elbow don't last, we know what that's going to look like. So, Ravens are the Ravens.
And the flip side of this, we got a couple of 0-2 teams: the Dolphins, the Jets, the Bengals, the Titans, the Broncos, the Texans. You're right. The Giants, the Eagles, the Lions, the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Panthers. Who you think is going to pull themselves out of the bush, pull himself out of that, and get himself the victory coming soon? Marcus?
I would, needless to say, I'm gonna go with the Texans because I believe in Deshaun. That's about it. Don't believe in the coaching. Don't believe in the general manager. But the Texans will get it together eventually. They just had a rough start. I mean, come on, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and now the Steelers. That's just a terrible. That's a terrible. I don't know who came up with that schedule. That's a terrible schedule to start the season with. So definitely the Texans. Amazingly, the Broncos are looking pretty good to me, even though they just lost their quarterback. The Broncos have been a lot more competitive than I thought they would be, especially with the loss of Von Miller on defense. There's a possibility they might not make the playoffs, but they might come out with an 8-8 record or maybe 9-7. We'll see. They're looking a lot better than I thought they would. Other than that, maybe the Bengals, maybe Joe Burrows will be enough to bring them up. And I'm about to say the Giants, but without Saquon, no. So I would say who I have faith in is the Texans and the Broncos.
Herman?
I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with the Dolphins because I picked them. So I gotta give them something, man. They've been competitive. I think that they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win on Thursday, and I think that's gonna start a streak for them. And I'm going with the Vikings. I just don't believe the Vikings are as bad as what they're putting on the field right now. They have a good running back. They have a good quarterback. They got a good
what?
receiver.
They got a good what?
They got a good quarterback. He's not with that other team ananymore.
Let me bring up his stats.
I don't need you to bring up his stats. It's not your time to talk. But yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins and the Vikings. Everybody else, I don't see it. Broncos lost their quarterback. The Bengals, the Bengals are the Bengals. Their defense isn't good. No matter what Joe Burrow does, they got a big uphill battle to climb. So, and another reason I picked the Vikings is because it's the NFC. And NFC, there's really one division that's dominant right now, and that's the NFC West. At least that's what's shown. There's only at least 3 teams right now that could dominate. So those are my picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off yours, Herman. I think the Vikings are much better than what they've shown so far. They got a running game. The defense need to step it up a bit. And I'm gonna say the other team in there I will have to say would be the Falcons. They lost 2 games. They both should have won both those games, week 1 and week 2. So I think both those teams are a lot better than what they've shown so far.
Hold on, Mark. Brian, could you please pay attention to the show and stop looking whatever you're looking at to the left over there?
And look,
appreciate it.
Pay attention to Mark. Don't be looking at me. I'm waiting my turn.
Go ahead, Mark.
But I got the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons and pulling themselves up and getting out of this hole. Brian, who you got?
I agree with you guys on the Vikings. I mean, I'm with Herman on this. I just can't. I don't know how they're this bad. I mean, and they've been getting beat bad, but they can't be. They got Dalvin Cook. They just signed that dude. They still got Thielen. They should be able to be a much better team. They just got to get their defense back together. And then I agree with Marcus too. I think that the Texans eventually will work this out. I think that they're not the worst team in their division, so I think that they'll always have a chance. In the first 2 games they played weren't divisional games, so we'll see how they go.
Who do you think's the worst team in that division?
Jaguars, probably.
Yeah, the Jaguars.
Hell, I feel like the Jags are playing better than the Texans right now.
They don't. The Jags won and one. They won first week, didn't they? They won and one.
They won and one.
Yeah.
But they're playing better. I mean, like, to me, the Texans haven't shown anything.
They have, but I see the Jaguars
play though.
Yeah, and I see the Jaguars head coach as a dead man walking. I see the Falcons head coach also as a dead man walking. So, and Mark, I'm surprised you said the Falcons because I mean they just had the 2 worst collapses in NFL.
Yeah, they did, but they were in both of those games.
That's the thing, though. You gotta win those games. I mean, those are the games you're supposed to win. So what happens when the game is close?
Yeah,
I have no faith in that team at all.
If you go back and look at that game on Sunday with the Cowboys,
that
was some terrible coaching. There were so many mistakes. First of all, get a new special teams coordinator. First of all, get a new special teams coordinator in there. How do you not fall on that ball? You acting like it's a punt and not a kickoff. How do you not fall on that ball? That was just the dumbest thing ever.
Biggest thing right there.
That was about the worst call that they had.
That ball has to go 10 yards for the defense, not for the offense, but not for the team receiving the ball. So yes, he should have been on it. It fell right in front of I think that was a tight end.
There was like 3 dudes. There was just backing up.
Yeah, they were just looking. waiting for somebody else to touch it. I guess I don't know what they was doing.
That's poor coaching, and also going forward that 2-point conversion in that game instead of going for the extra point.
Yeah, that
was bad coaching because then the Cowboys would just needed a field goal to not win the game, but to just tie the game. So it's just
but when he did that, that was like early in the third quarter.
But he didn't need to do that though. He didn't need to do that though.
You guys remember they did a trick play where they had a wide receiver Gage throw
that play too.
Julio Jones
Julio
dropped the touchdown. That would have put them up. That'll put them up by about 2 touchdowns. That would have put them away. And
see, I blame that on coaching too because you should have just had what's the quarterback's name? Matt.
No. Because he was back there, that's what made all the defense suck in and try to stop the run.
It was a beautiful play.
Julio wide open. It was a beautiful play. Julio just didn't finish it up with the catch.
Yeah.
Somebody comment?
Yeah. Go Rams.
You go Rams. Who was that?
I guess if they don't sign that thing there, their name don't come up. That little thing mark.
Go Rams. I'm going to go over to Facebook.
Yeah, we have to go to Facebook to see.
Who do we know that's a Rams fan?
Nobody that I can think of.
Tell me, who the Rams play this week?
The Rams played the Eagles last week.
But I don't know who they play this week.
I'm not sure they play this week because we're not picking them. I have to go look at the schedule.
Okay.
All right. Moving on the show. Last hot topic we're going to get on this week will be the NFL coaches that got fined for not wearing a mask on the sideline. Who leads the pack? You had two of the coaches who both come down with the COVID-19. Sean Payton. And,
yeah, you're right. He did have it.
Yes, he got it first.
Mm-hmm. And we got John Gruden. What you guys think about that one? Go ahead, Brian.
Well, they were just the last two.
Real quick, Mark, we do acknowledge you, Mark. We now know who you are.
What's that?
Mark Hill.
Oh.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Say what's up, Marcus.
What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark Hill?
I mean, it's just a bad look. I'm very disappointed in these coaches. I understand the fact that they're in the game, they focus, they want to get their point across, but at the same time, it looks terrible across America, the fact that you are choosing not to wear. You're not even making a half-ass attempt. I mean, the first game of the season, we see the Chiefs head coach, Andy Reid out there smoked and foamed up and all kinds of stuff, and he's perfected it now, but I mean, he was really trying, and we all need to try. And I mean, basketball coaches have been doing it. The baseball coaches, everybody's been doing it. Just wear the mask. I mean, if you got to wear the kind that's a little thinner, or take it down when you call the play, but put it right back up. It's not that big a deal. And to lose $100,000 and then your team lose another $200,000 is just ridiculous because you choose not to be following the rules.
And they said that they're allowed to pull it down to call the play and then put it back up. And you're right. It looks really bad for the NFL because the NFL has already been criticized so much because they didn't do the whole NBA bubble thing. And so far, so good. They've been going good. But then you got some of these coaches on the sideline running around with no masks on.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they pretty much tested every day?
Yeah. I think they are testing every day.
And I mean, I understand, the mentality, but it's just the look. It's just the look.
It's the aesthetics of it.
And heaven forbid they do have an outbreak.
Right, because they're going to point right to the.
And all these coaches are old. Yeah. You should be overprotected to make sure that you don't catch it because you're going to die.
Yeah.
Marcus, what you think?
I mean, it is what it is. I there's no excuse for it, but I kind of understand that. They're into it. They're trying to call plays. What's so funny?
Because you're like, well, they're wrong, but
I mean, I can see the lapse because they're trying to call plays.
But they're not even lapsing, Marcus. They just leaving that joint down the whole game. I don't even know why they wore it around their neck.
So you don't think they just mentally forgotten about it?
No, they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly. They had it on when they walked in. They took it off and they never put it back up. And I mean, it's good shots of all of them on the sideline. Wide.
They got Pete Carroll. They got a couple of.
Yeah, they did get Pete Carroll. Yeah,
Shaw, in fact, they got Pete Carroll and who's it? No, they didn't get. They got somebody else too because Sean Payton and Chucky were the last two.
Yeah, because they were the last ones to play.
Yeah,
and Pete Carroll was the oldest coach in the NFL.
They got San Francisco's head coach.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did.
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. Who else? I forgot. They got a bunch but they all deserved it because they all were completely guilty. And there are coaches in the NFL that are wearing them. So wear your mask.
Yeah,
and Pete Carroll was the oldest coach in the league.
Pete Carroll, that's the other one. Yeah.
He should be wearing his.
And you know who was wearing it though? Belichick.
Yeah.
But did you see that funky mask? That mask was weird. Did you see that?
Yeah, it had like a little vent or something.
No, not the vent part. It wasn't down below his chin. It was like covered just his nose and a little bit of his mouth. It looked really strange. I kept looking at his mask.
He got a couple chins now. He ain't no little dude.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on. We can get into last week's games, the picks. First game was a Thursday night game.
Mark, just real quick before we get into that, Mark had mentioned about how Deion Sanders got a
We will get into that. We
don't get into that. Okay. I just want to make sure we didn't act like we were ignoring it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to just make sure you saw it. It's fine.
I did.
Okay.
Would you like for me to continue?
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
You want me to mute him, Mark? I'll mute him if you want me to.
I don't interrupt you when you hosting the show. So
I was just trying to make sure that the people that were watching were acknowledged. That's all. I apologize. Let's just be rude. Let's be rude.
Your apology is accepted.
Let's be rude.
Thank you.
Let's change the name to Delay of Rude.
Anyway, last week's game we're gonna get into the Thursday night game, which was the Bengals versus the Browns. This game we had a little bit of excitement in the beginning of it, but then it took a turn for the worse. Herman, we start us off with it. What did you have in this particular game?
I picked the Bengals in this game, and I got it wrong. But Joe Burrow, he was impressive, but once again, Joe Burrow, you set these quarterbacks up. 37 for 61.
That's too much.
I'm going to say that again. 61 attempts.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And didn't he throw a lot the first game too?
Yeah, he did. I think he threw 40-something in the first game. So, they couldn't get their running game going. Mixon only had 46 yards. Tyler Boyd, he had 72 yards and a touchdown. But, I mean, Joe Burrow, to me, I think he's looking pretty good considering what he's working with. So, yeah, I got it wrong.
Marcus, who you having it?
I also picked the Bengals. Like you said, Joe Burrow, that's too much passing. That's way too much passing. 61 attempts. I haven't checked, but I think that probably tops everyone this week. That's just crazy. You should be, you couldn't get no running game going. I'm surprised the Browns were able to shut down a running game like that. On the opposite end, Nick Chubb had a great day, 22 for 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, and averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Baker, he had a pedestrian day, 16-23, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did enough, to win the game. But I picked the Bengals, and they got it wrong.
Brian?
Yeah, I was smarter than you two. I did pick the Browns. I knew the Browns was going to win. I knew it wasn't going to be close, even though it was 30-35.
It was close, though.
It was close, right?
It wasn't close.
It was 5-point difference.
Yeah, that's big in NFL.
That's not that big.
Okay.
It is.
I'm about to mute you. I'm about to get mute.
But I mean, again, the like Marcus was saying, the Browns were more efficient offensively. They had running and had enough, passing to go and get. He had a couple nice passes to Odell. Real nice deep one for the Odell for a touchdown. And they had a strong running game. On the other way, the Bengals had Burrow out there throwing for his life, and run around like a crazy man. Like Herman said, 61 times is just way too much for any quarterback. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't be throwing 61 times in a game. But the one thing that was kind of neat was Burrow was the first rookie since 1950 with 60-plus passing attempts and no interceptions.
I guess there's a bright line for everything.
Impressive.
Yeah, but it's still too much. He shouldn't have that record.
Well, I think because Cleveland actually had 215 rushing yards, so that might explain a lot. That might explain a lot. Joe had to throw that many times to stay in the game. That's a lot.
Yeah. On this one, I took the Bengals on this one too. I guess Brian was the only one that was right on this one. But 35-30, I mean, the score didn't really dictate how that game went. I thought Burrows was trying to force ball too much to AJ Green. It was entirely too much. Cleveland had some nice long drives. I think they had 2 drives. They ended up going like 70-something yards on it. But nevertheless, Odell Beckham had a pretty decent game. He hooked up with him a couple of times, right? But I didn't think the Cleveland would win in this particular matchup. But I chose the Bengals, and I chose wrong on it.
Yeah, I think with Cleveland for this game, this is exactly what you need Baker Mayfield to his stats to look like. Around 23, 25 attempts, 2 touchdowns. He still had the 1 pick, but don't ask Mayfield to do too much because that's when they're going to get into trouble. They need to lean on that run game like they did, and that's how they'll be successful.
All right, moving on to the next game. We had the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. This was a Sunday night game. And you go ahead and start us off with it, Marcus. Who'd you have in this one?
I did pick the Seahawks, but the Patriots brought it. I got to admit, that was a good game. It was great to see Cam being that successful. It came down to to the last minute. I feel like at that point, that last play, they should have maybe called another play. I know you go. It had worked before. That play worked before, and you go with who brought you to the dance. But maybe do a little option, act like Cam's going in. Toss it to the running back.
Complain regardless if that play was successful. Oh, they should have went back to the play they knew.
I mean, they had ran that play like 3 or 4 times. I think at that point Seattle was on it. Seattle was on it, and what's the guy named Jamal Adams? He was having a great day that day. They might have went to the well a little bit too many times.
It was actually I can't remember the guy's name, but the other safety is the one that actually gotten into the backfield and messed that play up.
Bobby
Wagner. Yes,
he blew it up.
Bobby Wagner blew that play up from
because when he got the penetration, that made the fullback block him, and he couldn't be the lead block for him anymore. So that's what blew it up for him.
Yeah, but
you know what's crazy? This game was the same score as the Cleveland game, 30-35. But going back to what Marcus said, now on this one, I chose Seattle on it. I was victorious. Going back to this, they did the same. They did the formation of the same play, and they did a fake like he was going to run the ball, but then jumped up and threw a little lob pass. Mm-hmm. So he gave you 3 different. They gave you 3 different versions of the same look. So not so much a bad call if you had the right setup. I think Seattle was just in the perfect defense. They stacked everybody in the middle. If he'd went wide, he probably would have scored if he'd went wide. But I chose Seattle on this one. I was victorious. Go ahead, Herman. Who you have in this one?
Yeah, I had Seattle also. It was a really good game. Cam was very. He was impressive. I was glad to see them having him throw. I didn't want to see him run like he did the week before because
he had some impressive throws in that game too.
He did. Cam can't have that type of season where he's running the ball, all those numbers of times because he's not going to stay healthy. So seeing him drop back and pass, and like you said, he had some pretty impressive throws. It was good to see that. It was a really good game, but yeah, I picked Seattle.
He was 30 of 44 for 397 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So he got the yards in there.
44 might be a little high. I don't think they want to go that high with him, but he was their leading rusher too, though. So,
yeah, he was.
Yeah, and
I got another question. That hit in the safety in the first quarter, was that legitimate? You guys think he should be thrown out for that one?
Yeah, he lowered his head. He did lower his head. It was. I don't think he had enough time to really pull out of that.
That's what I would think. If they didn't call it, I wouldn't have been mad if they didn't call it.
Yeah, but it was textbook leading with the crown of your helmet. I mean, and he got him good too. he did get the guy good. So
Go ahead, Brian. Who'd you have in this one?
I was with all you guys. I went with the Seahawks as well. But it was funny while watching the game, I actually found myself rooting for the Patriots during the game.
Why?
I don't know. It was just exciting, and I was just kind of feeling it. Like, I like Cam. I don't know why I want Cam to be successful, and I guess it's just a lot of haters around him. So it was just good to see him, do well. And I mean, I didn't expect them to really be in that game like they were. But they came up with a good game plan. Russell was Russell. I mean, that Bama threw 5 touchdowns in that game. He only had 288 yards, but he was precise. He was 21 of 28. So, most of his balls he threw were getting caught. They ran the ball pretty well, and this is like the 12th straight home opener that they've won, which is pretty impressive. And the record between Belichick and Carroll has them 3-1.
We might not be ready to crown the Bills, AFC East champions yet, because the Patriots are they're looking pretty good, and and I believe Cam is in the right spot, to be successful. So we might not be ready to crown the Bills yet.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next game we had was the Monday night game in the beautiful new Raiders Stadium. We had the Saints taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
Brian, I'll go ahead and let you start with this one. Who'd you have in this one?
On this one, I picked it wrong. I did pick the Saints, which is probably what most of America decided to pick. It was a good game. I mean, John Gruden had that team ready to ball. He had a game plan, and the game plan included Waller, and Waller was all over the place. Every time he was out there, they couldn't seem to stop him. He caught 12 balls for 103 yards and a touchdown, and that's the tight end. Carr was real efficient, 28 of 38 for 282 yards, threw 3 touchdowns. I mean, even Jacobs, he ran 27 times for 88 yards, so they were balanced. But they kept Drew Brees and them off the field, and it was just funny because I guess now that everybody's brought it to my attention that Drew Brees don't throw down the field no more. He don't throw deep. He throws intermediate, or he throws to. Really, he was just throwing to the running back, Kamara.
Yeah, that's all.
Every time I turned around, he was just dumping it off to Kamara, and Kamara was just making stuff happen. And they brought up all these statistics now that Drew Brees' numbers, just been going down and down each year for years. He hasn't been throwing down the field, but this is like the first game that I really paid attention to it. So I picked the Saints. I picked it wrong, and the Raiders were impressive.
Yeah. Hey, in this stadium, they didn't have any fans there at all. I heard that if they did have fans, how much the tickets were a seat ended up being?
What, $200?
$800 a ticket.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they have the most expensive tickets in the league.
Yeah. So the reason
that's the starting price.
Right, starting price. Right, right. On this one, I chose the Saints on this one too. I was surprised. Saints can't seem to come out, and they wasn't themselves. They just, I think they missing Michael Thomas. They just didn't look at him like themselves. The Raiders, I think after remember the safety ran into. What is on this man's mind?
What's wrong with you?
Marcus got me giggling. Marcus is looking all crazy up there. Go ahead.
When the safety had ran into the TV cart.
He was laid out. Man, I thought he was dead.
They seemed to get some legit energy after that. After that, they seemed to play. But I think that the important play was when they got the ball right before half and they kept it and they ended up scoring. But I took the Saints in this one. I was surprised at the Raiders. I also have Darren Waller in my fantasy, so I was happy with his performance Monday night. Herman, who did you have in this one?
Yeah, I had the Saints, man. They're looking real ugly. Like you said, Drew Brees, he's not putting up numbers, and I got him on my fantasy team. I mean, he's putting the yards together, but they're not scoring any touchdowns. And something else with the Saints is their secondary has to be one of the most penalized secondaries in the league. Their corners, I don't know if they're over aggressive, just bad technique. But man, every time you look up, their corners or their safeties are getting some type of penalty. I mean, they are so penalized. Their defense is not helping them out at all right now. And like you said, they're missing Michael Thomas, and really Kamara seems like he's the only weapon that they have right now. So they better. I mean, they're supposed to be known for being offensive, gurus. Sean Payton and Drew Brees working together. They better figure out something until Michael Thomas comes back, because if they don't, they're gonna look up and they'll be looking up at the rest of the league trying to play catch up. So got that one wrong.
Marcus, who you have in this one?
I also picked the Saints. It seemed like it was a freaky Friday in that game. You would have thought the Saints would have been doing what the Raiders were doing, and the Raiders were doing what the Saints were doing. I have to admit that Carr, he looked good. What's his name? Darren Waller. I mean, he looks like he's the next superstar tight end. I can't fault the Raiders. They played a great game. That was a good game to play in their first game in that new stadium. If they could have been fans in that stadium, they would have been wild. They'd have been going wild for that performance, especially against that team. The Saints are not looking good. Not looking good at all. Like you just said, Drew Brees he hasn't looked great in these last two games. I have a hard time believing that just because Michael Thomas is out, that nobody else can step up. Especially because I had Emmanuel Sanders in my fantasy football league. I was supposed to win that game because he was the only player I had left. He had 0 points.
No, he caught one ball.
He did?
Yeah, he caught one ball.
Well, that didn't help me at all. But I know for the longest, I think it's the third or fourth quarter, he had no catches. So at that point, I wasn't even paying.
In the fourth quarter, and I was like, "Watch this fool catch a touchdown in the end zone." I'm gonna lose.
So at that point, I wasn't even paying attention no more. But I mean, you can't have that. You're supposed to step in, the next man up thing. And I didn't see the coverage they were playing with him all night. But I can't believe the Raiders just, that was all through the Raiders coverage. They shut him down.
I mean, he's not really a number one anyway. He's always been a secondary player. So,
but come on, man, you got to do better than that. It's just.
I'm with you, Marcus. I would expect more out of him than what we saw.
Yeah, and I just right now it looks like the NFC South is wide open, except maybe for Carolina. The other three teams, anybody, Atlanta, or the Saints, could wind up coming out of there. I mean, it's
right now. I think.
I mean, Atlanta has been way more competitive than either the Tampa Bay or the Saints have.
Yeah, but how many wins they got?
Yeah, but they're still way more competitive.
Yeah, I don't think you get any type of championships for competitiveness.
Yeah, but it's still lost. We got 14 more games.
The Dolphins should have won the Super Bowl last year.
We got 14 more games. It just seemed like you can't really. I picked the Saints to make it to the NFC Championship, but these last 2 weeks, I'm not too confident in that pick.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next game. We've got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. I'm gonna start off with this one. The Ravens is who I chose on this one. They end up being victorious on it. The Ravens were the Ravens. I think that the defense came out and dominated. They got up on Houston and never looked back. Like I say, I think they represented themselves real well, real good. Brian, who'd you have in this one?
I was with you, Mark. I was with the Ravens, and the Ravens are where the Ravens are. I mean, it wasn't even any question. The game was not competitive. Lamar did what he did. They just overpowered them. 407 total yards of offense, and it was balanced pretty much. 177 passing, 233 running. 14th straight regular season game that the Ravens have won. Dating back to last year. So the Ravens are definitely on track to Super Bowl, and I'm looking forward to this Monday night game.
Herman, who'd you have in this one?
Yeah, I had the Raiders. I mean, the Ravens. Sorry. Houston is just trash right now. I feel so sorry for Deshaun Watson. I really do. But the Ravens, they do what they do. And like Brian said, I'm looking forward to this game coming up Monday night, which we'll be picking later on in the show. So don't go anywhere.
Marcus, who you have?
I also picked the Ravens, which makes me think maybe we shouldn't pick games where everybody's going to agree on one.
Yeah,
on one thing. I think because I think that was a unanimous vote, and it's just the obvious happened. Ravens are considered probably number 2 or some could argue number 1 premier team in the AFC, and it just like I said, like Herman said, I feel sorry for Deshaun. It doesn't make sense that he has to go through this nonsense that his coach gave away his best wide receiver, who happens to be killing it in Arizona right now. So, yeah, I mean, and I just look at these stats. This guy named Gus Edwards, have you heard before? 10 carries, 73 yards, average 7 points. He was there last year? He averaged 7.3 yards an attempt. Okay, that's how you win a game. Is when your leading rusher averages 7.3 yards an attempt. I don't know, maybe the Texans need to work on that run defense. That's ridiculous. And Ingram, listen, and Ingram had 6.1 yards.
I'm going to say everybody they gave the ball to ran well. Everybody.
Yeah. Hey, but Marcus, if you want to feel a little bit better, since 2015, this is the 3rd time that the Texans have started 0-2, and all 3 times they made the playoffs.
Yeah, see, I was right when I picked them. Yeah, right. There you go.
All right. So we're going to the last game of the weekly pick. We had the Los Angeles Rams against the Philadelphia Eagles. Herman, who'd you have in this one?
Yeah, I had the Rams in this one. The Eagles are just walking wounded.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, pretty much. They're looking and Carson Wentz, 26 for 43, 242 yards and 2 interceptions.
Ugly interceptions too.
Yeah, the Rams they're looking good. Goff was 20 for 27, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. They're everybody kind of was writing off the Rams, not really knowing what they were going to be this year, but it looks like that, they're picking right back up, or they're actually doing better than what they did, towards the end of last year. So,
and they won like more than the last couple of games last season, right?
The Eagles 0-2. They were supposed to be the division winners. A lot of people was picking them to win the NFC East. So looks like the Cowboys are going to run away with it.
Whatever. Marcus, who you got? These delusional Cowboy fan, I tell you.
Once again, we got a game. I think everybody picked the Rams.
I did pick the Rams.
So we probably shouldn't be choosing these games, but yeah, I mean, let me give you a couple stats explaining to you how they won. So the Rams had 8 people rush the ball, and let me go back. I believe I clicked something now. I lost my thing. I had stats up. Hold on 1 second.
What you want, the leading rusher?
Yeah. So Darrell Henderson.
Yeah.
81 yards.
Carries 81 yards, average 6.8 yards a carry. Malcolm Brown averaged 4.3 yards a carry. Robert Woods, 6.3.
He's a wide receiver.
And he's Cooper Kupp, 9.5, and he's a wide receiver.
Another wide receiver.
And Cam Akers averaged 4.3.
And Akers and Brown both got hurt in that game.
Yeah, so that's how you would have get the Rams are looking like they did that Super Bowl season. Apparently, Sean McVay has he's turning things around. he's turned things around and got them back on track again. And like I said last week, they're going to sweep the NFC East, and they're definitely going to make the playoffs. So they're looking good right now.
What'd you say?
I said they're going to sweep the NFC East, and they're probably going to make the playoffs.
Who?
The Rams.
Why are you saying the NFC East?
They're going to sweep, like I said last week.
Okay. I didn't hear that part. Okay.
The NFC East.
And I'm like, is he talking about the Eagles?
I'm going to need you to pay attention. You just everywhere today.
I'm going to need for you to speak clearly.
You just everywhere. Okay.
Jared Goff had a passer rating of 142.1.
For that game or for the season so far?
For that game.
Good Lord. Well, he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, so that'll do it for you.
His QBR was 95.9. Wow.
Yeah, on this particular game, I chose the Rams on it too. Tyler Higbee had 3 touchdowns at tight end. He was finding him all day long with that. I think that the Rams offense was just on point from go. I think what Philly went wrong was they fumbled the ball their first possession, and that was just downhill from them there. But I took the Rams, and they were successful.
And speaking of Tyler Higbee, he was 5 receptions. He was targeted 5 times, so he caught all passes.
Everything that came to him, right. Go ahead, Brian. Who you having?
Yeah, I was with the rest of the crew. I went with the Rams on this particular game. And I didn't realize this, but this was the first time that the Rams have beat the Eagles since 2014. They're now 1-6. So the Eagles were a thorn in their side. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe that either. But the Eagles have been a thorn in the Rams' side for a while now. So I know that they were real happy to get that monkey off their back. The Rams just did it the way they were supposed to. I mean, they just beat the Eagles up. And Wentz. I mean, it was funny. We saw that the PA announcer actually booed Wentz in this game, and it was that in Philadelphia. So we thought that was kind of humorous, that the PA announcer who's getting paid by Philadelphia is booing the starting quarterback because he's not playing well.
That's crazy.
That is. All right. Moving right
on. How'd y'all do?
I was 4 no. I was 3-2.
I was 4-1.
No, how you get 3-2? That was 6 games.
6 games. It was 6 games.
5 games. I'm sorry. It was.
Because 3 plus 2 is 5. I mean, last time I checked it was.
What game did you add, Mark?
I had another game in there somehow, but maybe not. 3-2 also.
Yeah, 3-2 for me too.
Yay! I win again.
Again.
Yeah, I won last week too. I was 5-0.
Actually, you know what? No, I was
Marcus.
I was 2-3. I was 2-3.
About this, man. You need.
He said 2-3. He went worse.
I was 2-3. I was 2-3.
He went worse.
Hey, you better play back the shows with him.
Yeah, I know. But
I just said 2-3.
Hey, Mark, Mark, Mr. Hill was making a comment about the decor of your home.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Take that
it's
down.
Lovely. Nope, it's not coming down. No, none of the season. It's not coming down.
He said something about y'all too. So there you go. Back. Cowgirls. There you go. See.
Yeah, he said something about you too, Marcus. Next chat. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this week 3 games we got coming up. First game we got in store is the Miami Dolphins taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The beard against the mustache. Dolphins are 0-2, and then you got the Jaguars who are 1-1, who very well could have been 2-0 right now. If it wasn't for a last-minute interception that the Minshew threw. But we start off with you, Brian. Who you got in this game?
Well, Vegas likes the Jaguars in this game. The Jags are giving up -3 in this particular one. It's really an ugly game because the Dolphins' offense is 22nd and their defense is 30th, and the Jaguars' offense is 20th and their defense is 23rd. But I'm taking them surprise. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins, man. I think the Dolphins have been playing hard. They've been trying to get a win. I think the Jaguars are going to fall in their laurels, even though they're at home. I just think this is the chance for the Dolphins to get that first win. Give me Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic. You taking the beard? That's one for the beard. Go ahead, Marcus. Who did you have in this one?
I'm taking the stash. That's what I'm taking. I'm taking the Jaguars. I think Fitzmagic. I think the magic is gone. The more he goes to the season, the worse he gets. This is game 3. If this has been game 1, I might have given him a chance. I'm even going to make an outrageous prediction and say Tua makes his way into the game this Thursday.
Yeah, that's not that outrageous. If he throw like 3 or 4 picks, all right, Tua.
Herman, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going with the beard. Y'all know I believe in the Dolphins, so I got to keep riding the daggone Dolphin wave.
Oh, man. Look, I thank you because I just knew I was going to be lone wolf in this joint.
Yeah, I got to go with the Dolphins. I think they're going to surprise the Jaguars. It's probably be an ugly, boring game, but it's Thursday nighter, so you got to watch.
You got to watch. Well,
What's going on,
This
Gregory?
one, what's happening, Gregory? Hey, on this one, the Jags have an undrafted rookie, James Robinson, who rushed 16 times for 102 yards, averaging 6.4 yards a carry. The way the Dolphins gave up the defense against Josh Allen last week, he threw for 417 yards. Man, I don't think this Dolphin defense can hang with him. I'm going with the mustache too, Marcus. So it's the mustache against the beard. I'm taking the Jaguars in this one too.
Look, it made the best facial hair win.
Made the best facial hair win. Next game we got is the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Go ahead, Herman. Start us off on this one. Who you got in this?
Well, you got the Packers, who might not have Devontae Adams because he has a hamstring injury, against the Saints, who we know probably won't have Michael Thomas. But looking at these two teams right now, I'm going with the Packers. The Saints I can't pick the Saints because they're just not playing good football right now. Their secondary probably have at least 5 penalties during this game. So I'm going with the Packers on this one.
Taking the Packers. All right. This one, I mean, I agree with you. The Breeze just look out of sync with it without Thomas here. I find it hard to not expect for Sean Payton not to change things up this particular game. The Saints kind of held on the ball a little bit too much long last week. They kind of got him a little bit in trouble. Aaron Jones is a dynamic rusher running, but I think the Saints are going to take this one. So I'm taking the Saints on this one. Brian, who you got on this one?
I'm with the Packers on this one. I agree wholeheartedly with Herman. The Packers right now are the number 1 offense in the NFL, and they got the number 8 defense. Like Herman said, there's question if Thomas is even going to be healthy enough to play. They didn't look good, but the Saints are actually giving up 3 points in this game by Vegas. I'm assuming mainly probably because it's a home field advantage. But do they have fans? Did they have fans?
It won't be enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
I was just curious if they did. But Rodgers is number 6 in passing. Aaron Jones is the number 1 rusher with 234 yards. And they just got the number 1 offense to get the 25th rush defense. I think the Packers are going to run all over them, and I don't think it's going to be a contest.
Marcus, who you got?
You got to believe your eyes, the eye test. And right now, the Packers look way better than the Saints. So I'm going to go with the Packers. I think it won't be much of a contest. Aaron Rodgers, he's having a good season so far. I think he has a lot to prove. He's mad because they drafted that Love guy. He got a chip on his shoulder. And just if you look at the two teams, like I said, past the eye test, it's definitely the Packers. So I'm going with the Packers.
Okay. Am I only one that's lone wolf in that one?
Sir, you are lone wolf.
Let's hear it.
Ow!
I'm gonna make sure to have that dunce hat for you by next show.
Yeah, okay. You don't worry about that.
Yeah, I absolutely do on this one.
The next game we're moving on to is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. This one should be a doozy. Hey, did you guys know that Mahomes is 2-0 against Lamar Jackson and these two quarterbacks, young little rivalry they got? You might as well call this is a next generation rivalry here. These two, they're gonna be around for the next couple of years, hopefully. And this is a hot rivalry
type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So keep an eye on that one. I'm gonna go first on this one. The Ravens pass rush got to Watson the last week. I thought that the Ravens able to run the ball was a big key in them dominating that game. Kansas City seemed to be weak on the run. So with that, I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens on this one, y'all. I'm taking Baltimore on this one. Herman, who you got on this one?
Yeah, this is probably the hardest one to pick this week. I know the Chiefs looked ugly last week. I feel like they're just the more dangerous team. Their defense tends to show up when they need to a little bit. I think they just got a little caught off guard last week by the Chargers. So What?
No, go ahead.
I'm going with the Chiefs on this one. Mahomes, you said it already. Mahomes is 2-0 against Lamar. I think he's gonna make it 3-0.
Okay. Brian, who you got?
I'm going with them Birds, unfortunately. They are the best team in the NFL right now. I mean, there's no question about it. Their games are not even competitive. They actually, first two games that have been boring. I really watched them on highlights. They're never in any like worry or concern. Like Herman was saying, man, the way that the Chiefs played last week against that rookie, I'm very terrified for that defense on what Lamar is going to be able to do against them, because he's a much better passer and a much better runner. I think that the Ravens are going to tear up time of possession. I don't think the Chiefs' offense is going to stay on the field that long, and I think that the Ravens are going to roll.
Marcus, who you got?
I like to abstain from picking this game.
Yeah,
you better take one.
Like I said, this is a hard one. This is actually my matchup that I picked for the AFC Championship. Like Herman said, arguably the two best quarterbacks in the league right now. Like Brian said, this is the new Brady Manning matchup.
I said it.
Oh, you said it? Okay, well, doesn't matter who said it. Somebody said it. But this game, I feel like Brian said they're gonna possess the ball, but the Chiefs don't really need that much time to score. But the Chiefs, they do seem to start off real slow, and they don't really get things going to sometimes the second half. This is a hard one to pick. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Ravens, because I believe the Ravens will get started early, like Brian said, time of possession and just run that ball. I think it'll be a close game. It'll definitely be an exciting game. I'm definitely watching this one, and I'm also picking the Ravens because this is my AFC matchup, and I'm picking the Chiefs to win that. So, and I want the Ravens to win at least one of these matchups. So, this is the one I'm gonna pick for them to win.
So you taking the Ravens?
Correct.
Herman?
Oh!
Got a long wolf there.
No worries.
All right. Next game we're moving on to is the Houston Texans against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Herman, you do have that hat still, right?
Yeah, I'll bring it over to Mark because I'm not.
Well, what happened is I think my game before mine. So you're running over here before the game, then I'm running back over there after the game. Okay?
Nah.
Well, you both need one for the show, so
I said after the game.
Yeah, but you're gonna need it for the show. Nobody cares if you wear it after the game.
He's gonna need it for the show. I won't.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good game no matter what.
Houston and the Steelers, Texans and the Steelers. Brian, who you got in this one?
I got the Texans. Damn it. The Texans are a better team than how they have played this year. The Steelers are good. They actually have the third overall defense, and the Texans are the 24th offense. Vegas likes the Steelers. The Steelers actually have the highest one. They're giving up 4 points this week. But the Texans are a better team than what they are. I think that it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. But I think somehow the Texans pull this game out. Give me the Texans.
You want to howl now, or you want to wait for us to all make our?
I'll wait for you all to finish.
Marcus, go ahead.
I'm gonna pick the Texans.
My dog.
Like I said, they got to come out of this slump. If they can beat anybody, it's the Steelers much more than they can beat the Chiefs or the Ravens. I think it'll be a very low scoring game. I hope it is. I have the Steelers defense in my fantasy league, so I need it to be a very low scoring game. It's going to be a rough and tough game. It won't be exciting, but the Texans will pull it out.
Herman, who you got?
Y'all crazy. Like, I'm not a Steelers fan. Y'all know that, but y'all crazy. You just said earlier how good the Steelers defense was looking. All right, we talked about that. They're not the Ravens defense, but we saw what the Ravens defense just did to the Texans. Deshaun Watson is going to be running for his life. I'm taking the Steelers. This game will not be close unless Big Ben hurts his elbow.
he gonna have his one sleeve on the sideline this week. He put his one little sleeve on.
Hey, this game shouldn't come as no surprise to nobody. The Texans' offensive line is awful. It's awful. The Steelers are offensive line. They've been keeping Ben clean. He only been sacked twice. He only been put down twice in 2 games. That even gives them more time to find the lethal weapons that they have on the Steelers. There's no doubt it's going to be Steelers on this one. I'm taking them Steelers all the way. All right, the last game we have is the LA Rams taking on the Buffalo Bills. We can start off with Marcus on this one. Who you got on this one, Marcus?
This is also a hard one to pick. Both the Rams and the Bills are 2-0, looking very good. But I don't believe it. What's the quarterback's name? Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to do
the number
it.
1 passer in the league right now, Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to. He'll be able to do that against the Rams defense with Aaron Donald on there. And the Rams they look like they've got their stride back. Sean McVay is calling good plays again. It's looking great. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Rams.
Herman, who you got on this one?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier when we talked about the 2-0 teams that we don't have faith in, I don't have no faith in the Bills. So I'm going with the Rams. I'm with Marcus on this one. I don't believe in Josh Allen. I don't believe him. He does some good things, but he does some bad things too. So I'm going with the Rams.
On this one, Bills have really benefited from having Stephon Diggs on there. He's been lighting it up since he's been with the Bills. I think that makes it even a little bit better for the other wide receiver, John Brown. So and Allen threw for 417 yards last week. He's rated high. I'm gonna ride that Bills Mafia and go with the Bills on this one, y'all. I'm taking the Bills. Brian, who you got?
So I thought I was going to lone wolf this one, but it looks like you're lone wolfing it, Mark, because also with the Rams, the number 5 offense, number 3 defense, against the number 3 offense and the number 5 defense, so they just flipped. But it's going to be a good game. It's definitely not going to be no cakewalk for either team. I just like McVay. I like what he's doing with his offense. I think he's going to keep that Bills defense on the field for a while. And like Herman said, I mean, Josh Allen is having a good season, but I mean, who has he played the first couple games of the season? What, Miami, and I forgot what the other team was, but they weren't no world beaters. Oh, the Jets. Wasn't it the Jets?
Yeah, I think it was the Jets.
Yeah, so
they ain't beat nobody.
Yeah, it was a nice start to the season, but now reality sets in, and the Rams go 3-0.
All right, so I'm lone wolf in this one too.
Yes, you are.
Sir, can we hear it?
Ow!
Definitely to make sure he gets a hat.
Absolutely. Dang, you gonna wear that hat the whole show next week.
The entire show.
Hey, Marcus asked for for some throw a little bit different flavor in it, man. I'm giving it to you.
That's true. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I could see a way that any of these other teams that I didn't pick would win this game, and it's gonna be a good NFL week this week.
Yeah. Well, before we end up the end of the show, there's 2 things I want to touch on before we end the show. Today we lost arguably one of the greatest running backs in NFL history, and that's Gale Sayers. He was 77 years old, Hall of Famer. One of my favorite all-time favorite football movies, Brian Song. He was part of that Brian Song with Brian Piccolo and him as a tandem in the running back with the Chicago Bears. Our thoughts go out to him and his family. It's just it's a sad day in the NFL world because of that. Do you guys want to make a comment about that one?
Yeah, I was saddened and shocked. It's been on the NFL channel. They've been showing tributes to him and having different people talk about his life and his career, and what an impact he made in the NFL after only 7 years. The youngest to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think he was 34 years old when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And to be gone at 77 is just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah. Herman.
Yeah, just condolences to his family. He's 77 years old. He's still young, and he had a great career. He was a good man on and off the field.
He's actually, I think, he was more successful off the field in his businesses than he was, NFL wise.
About that.
Well, back then they didn't get paid.
They didn't, yeah, they sure did.
True.
That's true. Marcus?
I mean, just like you said, my condolences go out to the family. It's a big loss today for the NFL.
Yeah. Like I say,
Marcus, do you have the Dunce hat handy? For those who are new to the show, when we make our picks and we lone wolf it, one of us will have to wear that hat during the conversation we have about that game the whole time, and it does have to spin.
Not wearing it. I got my permanent hat on.
You're
not wearing it.
It goes good with the Steelers. They dunces too.
We should do the reverse. We should do the reverse where the lone wolf actually picks the right pick. The other three people got to wear the Dunce hat doing that.
Look, now you're getting crazy, Mark. That would be funny though. All three people wear that hat. That would be funny.
That would. And then also somebody touched on the Barry Sanders getting the job for Jackson.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. Yeah.
Who did I say?
Barry Sanders.
I'm sorry. Deion Sanders. Deion. And there's rumored that he asked a couple.
It's not true.
It's not
true. Okay, that's what I'm there. That's what I said. Rumored. I did rumor.
If it was, that was like the dumbest idea in the world.
It was how Jackson State going to afford all those people? All those
right. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, but what the heck is Terrell Owens? He was as selfish as a mug. What the heck is he going to teach somebody?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm saying, Dad,
he could be their workout. He could be their dietitian or workout.
But not only that,
I don't think you get Terrell Owens on there. One of the best wide receivers ever to do it, to be a dietitian.
But if they did have him, what they do for as far as getting recruits in there. Everybody want to come and play with them.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, Deion denied all those.
He shut that down quick.
He did.
So Deion, his ego too big. He want to be the only the Hollywood star there.
You got it. All right, Marcus, take us out of here.
Oh, he did. Did say Warren Sapp did join Sanders. I guess Warren Sapp was true.
Warren Sapp joined him. Okay.
I thought he denied him.
Oh, yeah. Now Warren Sapp as a defensive.
Yeah, I like that. I actually like that.
Like that. Yeah, if that's true. So, but I mean, even if T.O. didn't have the personality he did off the field and everything you saw, I mean, you could learn a lot from T.O. as a receiver too.
Yeah. It's just, is he willing to teach it?
Yeah, that's the question. So, yeah, T.O. was a good route runner. He definitely was. So.
All right, Marcus, you take us out of here.
All right, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Help us get the views up. Be sure to catch us out on our YouTube channel, The Live Game. Catch us on Twitter at The Live Game 3. Catch us on Instagram at Official The Live Game. You missing anything?
Nope.
Catch us on Facebook.
How about them Cowboys?
Stands for hot breath.
Hey, just for the record too, while Herman brought that up, that was the first time in NFL history that a team.
That's some dirty mess right there.
But what's that about? We hit it.
The host beauty.
That's so wrong.
You're an awful person, Hellos. That was the first time in NFL history that a team was up by 39 points and ended up losing. It was like 400 and 0. Now they're like 401. So.
I mean, we should be surprised. The Falcons, they're good at losing big leads. So.
Yeah, I just can't believe that nobody got chopped from that team. At least the special teams coach or somebody should have caught a head for that one. That's crazy. And they're now known for the two worst losses in NFL history. No question.
All right, so before I was really interrupted by this Cowgirls nonsense, we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.
that end broadcast, man, that don't took forever to end. I was like, the song wasn't run out.
You know, I was sitting here listening to Herman. These speakers are pretty nice. I had the volume up to doom, 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 doom.
Marcus, when you I guess the next time you put the show up, can you tag us?
What do you mean, tag you on Facebook?
Yeah, because what happens is when it goes live, it says Marcus is going live.
Oh, hold on. Stop talking.